Good morning. Hey, good morning. Happy Thursday and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the Badass Buddha, Dr. Lori Monaco, coming to you from Southern Connecticut, where it is raining today and it's humid and it's really kind of gross out there. But the rain is nice, keeping everything green, and happy to have it. Not complaining, considering so many states are in a drought. So I'm not complaining whatsoever about it. I am your authenticity. I can't speak this morning. Authenticity teacher, speaker, coach. I am your chiropractic physician. I am your weight loss specialist. And again, I am the Badass Buddha. So good morning.
Good morning. Buenos dias. So now here in Tampa, Florida, it's sunny out. It's just not pouring into my room. So good morning, Badass. I am trying to adjust my computer. Okay. Is that better?
Yes, it was fine. I think it was fine the other way too, but yep, that's good.
Buenos dias, mi gente. And yes, welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche this beautiful Thursday morning. It's Friday somewhere. Believe me, it's true. I am your spiritual and creative healing life coach. Spiritual, where we learn how to feed the spirit and starve the ego. And creative healing is working with the power of color through pencils and paintbrushes. And I got away from that for a minute, and I had a conversation with the Badass Buddha the other day, and she's like, well, you do this, you do that. And it's like she sparked that in me where that's where I want to go, and I forgot. So yes, that's what I do. That's my sacred healing, is discovering, like the badass who's a blue jay in her other life, and maybe in her former life, and maybe in her future life, where, oh, look, you're busy up in elbows in dishwater soap, and then you look and you're like, oh, there's something shiny, and you go, that's how I've been. And so we got to get back to the basics. That's what I do. An artist, a writer, storyteller. I am a daughter, mother, grandmother. That's who I am today. I am very sleepy, and I'm going to hug my pillow after this show. So good morning, mi gente, from the gladiator guru, La Margarita. Welcome.
And good morning to my cousin Anna, dropping on first thing in the morning. Hi, Anna. We love when you come on. We haven't seen you in a little bit. I know you popped on the other day. So happy to have you representing upstate New York. And Iritza, good morning. We're happy that you're here. Also to Sarah O'Keefe, Erika Bolahala in the house. All right. Remember, make sure that you give, type in the comments, say hello so that we see you on the screen. We do see on the Facebook stream, which is how I knew that Sarah's here. So, and Arika. So glad that you're all here. So we're going to say our good mornings. And today's conversation is going to be part 2 of our Tuesday conversation. We don't have a guest today. We had something in mind we wanted to sort of do for because it's almost the end of summer, and we sort of wanted to have a good laugh. And so we were looking to get a Latina comedian on. And, we already had, who was it? Sarah that was on, right? It was it Sarah? Oh my God, I'm blanking out. Isn't that terrible? We loved her too. But we were looking to get somebody else. One person I reached out to, she was unavailable. She was going to be flying, and a couple of other people I reached out to, and we didn't get any feedback, but that's okay. So we decided, because Tuesday's conversation was so good. So for those of you that didn't catch Tuesday's show, definitely go back and check out Tuesday's show. And then we're going to do part 2 today. Plus this time though, we also want to give you tips to really get out of that funk, because that's what was going on. That's what Tuesday's show was about, was Gladiator Guru and I sharing the funk that we've been in. And it's been going on for quite some time, and it's been sort of elevating, and it's sort of culminated for both of us unknowingly on the same day on Friday. And then it got a little better over the weekend. So that's what we're going to talk about. But the title of the show today is Nobody Puts Baby in the Corner. And if you can put in the comments what movie that quote is from, that would be absolutely phenomenal. just to make sure to see, also to check our ages, really, because that's, I saw that movie. I was telling Gladiator Guru, I saw that movie 21 times in the theater. You know, of course, theater tickets were much cheaper back then.
Oh my God. And you can smoke in here. We used to go to the movies just to childhood smoking, because I watched like
that's right, Michelle.
What's the movie with Brooke Shields? Endless Love and The Last American Virgin. I saw that several times in the theater. And if anybody's from Bridgeport, it was the theater on the Boston Barnum Avenue cutoff. That now it's a nursing building, and across the street is Compere and Dunkin' Donuts. That was the movie theater there. Yes, look, everybody's saying it, Dirty Dancing. I guess we're all up there in age, baby girl. I'm gonna be 53, but drop it like it's hot. Good morning, Kimberly Sanchez, Sarah O'Keefe, Desiree. I'm sorry, Desiree. I know you text me, and that's why we're talking about this to help get over the hump. I'm not ignoring you. Piritza, Michelle Inmar, thank you, Mamita, for coming. We still got to meet. Look at our Janice. Look at Badass Buddha typing real quick. So I hope I didn't miss anybody, Tiffany or Michelle, because I missed Michelle the last time. Michelle's not on, is she? My son-in-law, our Janice, is on. You know, I want to just give a shout out to my number one man right there, because him and Lewis have been the ones to come on continuously. We had some great men, and I guess they're busy. Along the way, we got Ephraim looking like a Greek god, who just turned, 58? And that's a beautiful thing. Bless. And
Janine's on. Good morning, Janine. Good morning. Boy, we have a lot of great people on this morning.
Yes.
Well, they're every morning. We're really blessed, and we really greatly appreciate it. And I got to tell you, this is really important because, again, with regards to the conversation that we started on Tuesday, you know, I mean, Gladiator and I had a meeting yesterday, and, you know, she's getting better. I'm not fully out of the funk yet. I have my highs and my lows, and it's on a daily basis. And it's very easy to slip into a detachment when you're in that mindset, you know, or you're in that headspace. It's not even a mindset, it's a headspace. And it's so easy to slip into that detachment where you don't want to talk to anybody, you don't want to text anybody, you stay off email, social media. You just want to sit in a corner and either sleep or watch TV. And getting up to do this broadcast, you know, is a way of disrupting the stuff in the brain, you know. I mean, I was in a funk this morning still, a little bit, and it was so nice and dark and comfortable. I was in the downstairs little lounge area, and it's real, you know, there's hardly any windows down there. So plus it's raining. And I said to myself, this is exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, it would be so easy to just lay here all day, like literally lay here all day, even though I have stuff to do, because it's dark, it's everything that I want, but I had to get up to do the broadcast. So pushing yourself is a really big way to disrupt. It's not easy. And, you know, I could easily like hang up from here and go right back downstairs if I wanted to. But I have to like push myself to say, okay, well, what do I have to do today? What responsibilities do I have? Go through my calendar and see what I have on the docket. So those are the things that push us, you know, getting us involved, committing to things, and then forcibly making ourselves do it. Like I would have never not shown up, but there was that little piece of me that was like, oh God, it would be so nice to just lay here.
Yes. Yeah, and thank you, and I'm very happy to see you. I'm very happy that it's so easy for us to do what's easy.
Yes.
Why? Because it's easy.
Yes.
And sometimes the mind, those thought patterns, they're lazy fuckers. So if you don't exercise those muscles, they will have you looking like an overcooked spaghetti most of the time, laying on your couch or your bed, right? So that's why it's important when you feed your spirit, because it's mind, body, spirit, right? When you walk the camino, it's body, mind, spirit, because your body breaks the hell down the first 2 weeks of climbing, right? But I was happy to learn it that way because all our lives we're taught mind, body, spirit. Spirit's always at the end. And really, should it be? I mean, it should be there to catch us when we fall, but I think we got to feed it as we're doing the beginning steps. So when I walked through Santiago, through Spain, it was body, mind, spirit. And guess what happened? While I was too busy focusing on my body aches and pains and swellings, I didn't have time to think negative thoughts. Now, mind you, my 4 girls were like, why didn't we go here? We could have spent this time in Greece. We could have done a lot of other things, but we're here sweating, climbing mountains in pain. So by the time I reached the meseta, and it was 17 days of no trees, no shade, just hay on each side, your body's healing, so your mind isn't angry. So then you get to think about other stuff. You get to reflect about, wow, look at what I just climbed, like 10 mountains in these last 2 weeks, blah, blah. So I think, yeah, the mind will have us fucked up if we don't control it. It's about us being in charge of everything about us, our body, our weight, our food intake, our output. It's us exercising these muscles. People look at me when I say that, and I say, well, just like when you say my name, Margarita, that's tongue exercise. Try it. So you're not going to be able to roll those R's unless you practice that with your tongue, and your tongue has a memory. Well, that's what we got to do with this. And it's easier said than done, because you know what? We have to go through this seasonal sadness every once in a while in our life. I think once a year we need to go through that setback to be fully present in our comeback. Okay, I'm done speaking. Go ahead, your turn.
Oh, I was good. I was listening. It's again, we were talking about it on Tuesday. We were saying that, it's okay to honor yourself and give yourself some space, when you're in those funky moments. And I think Michelle is on. So good morning, Michelle. We didn't want to miss you. I saw that Michelle had popped on. And I just, it's okay to have those moments, but it's about, you have to always be aware. It's about being aware of how long is that moment lasting? What do I think is causing it? And if I know what's causing it, is it my inaction that's making the situation worse? Is it an action that I did take that didn't work out that's causing this? I mean, there's a lot of inner monologue, and while a lot of coaches will say that, like, you have to watch what you're saying to yourself, your inner monologue. Absolutely. I mean, you don't want to sit there and say these horrible things to yourself, but the reality is that we do. And the reality is that they're connected to stuff. I mean, that there's a reason we're saying negative things to ourselves, Do we fully believe them? You know what? I don't believe that we 100% fully believe them all of the time. I think when you're in that moment, when you're in that headspace, you believe it. But I think there's a little bit of self-doubt that, okay, I don't fully believe it, but it just goes so well with the story in my head right now. And that's why, and how I'm feeling, and it's just going to accentuate it. So it's sometimes a good disruptor is when you say things like, I'm a loser, I hate myself, I'm not happy, I don't deserve it. You ask yourself, is that really, really true? Is that really, really true? And in that moment in time, if you're really bad and you're like, yes, it's really, really true. Okay, then just be in that moment. And then you're going to have to ride it out. You're going to have to do what you can to sort of deal with it and live in that moment. But then keep asking yourself, don't ask just one time. As the day progresses, you ask the same question when you start saying that to yourself again. And then when that little piece comes in and says, well, I don't believe it 100%. That's when you need to take action steps to flip it and do something else. So if you're laying on the couch watching TV and you've been binge watching for the last 4 hours, and then you ask yourself that again, and then you say, yeah, I don't 100% believe that. Like maybe 95% I believe, but it doesn't matter if you don't fully believe it. Then at that moment, get yourself off the couch. Get dress, change your clothes. If you're already dressed, put something else on, go out for a walk. But we're going to get into a whole list of things that you can do.
Yeah, look at what our Janice wrote, which is very true, because we don't make that mind shift.
No, we make it mind shit.
Yes.
Mind shift or mind shit.
The brain fog happens to you and the shift doesn't occur, and then that happens, and I can attest to that because but yeah, okay, you ready?
No, I can read out loud. So I get the funk on that times it sucks because I'm always on the go. And he is always on the go too. Like he's like hot and on the right from the get-go until he goes to bed at night. And so hearing it from two, because our Janice gets a lot done. I've never met him, but boy, your mother-in-law talks like you up so much, I'm going to tell you. So, but he gets a lot done. Like he is a hustler, man. And so even when we look at these individuals, so really, our Janice, thank you for sharing that. That's huge. And I just want to also say good morning to Elisa, Nicole, Alyssa, Nicole. Thank you for being here today. But it's that's important to hear because we have this perception a lot of times that we see these other people that are doing so much, and we're like, oh, they got their shit together, and I'm just a waste case, and blah blah blah, and I'm such a loser, and then it adds to your story. But when you hear about, when you hear individuals speak so openly like that, it makes a big difference. It's just like when you hear somebody who's famous, all of a sudden you find out that they suffer greatly from depression or anxiety, or like all these things happen to them before, in their life. And even still, but they're so high though that you almost can't connect. Like if Oprah Winfrey said, well, every morning I wake up and some days I can't get out of bed, I'd be like, well, I wouldn't want to get out of your bed either, Oprah, because it's fucking comfortable and your house is gorgeous. And you know what I'm saying? So like we could sit there, but to have it on other levels, to hear it from different people is really, really important, because again, perception is what it is because of our experiences and our mind and our thoughts. And so if we're already a little askewed in our way of thinking and feeling about ourselves, our perceptions are definitely going to be askewed as well. Did you like that word, askewed? I haven't used that word in a while.
We gotta say it. Let's say it together, everybody. Let's exercise that tongue. Go ahead.
Askewed. So Desiree says, I'm sitting here on a line at D&D trying to roll R's. That's fabulous. That's great. She says, thank you for waking up and getting out of bed for us today. Oh yeah, thank you, Desiree. And it helps us too. Like I said, I didn't want to get on here myself. I mean, it's not that I didn't want to I wanted to get on, but it was a little bit of a struggle. And then Alyssa writes, we have to remember that when we compare, people are only sharing what they want to share. That's absolutely, that makes them look good. But when I get in the space and funk of compare, I have to check my yes. Yeah, because that's what people are. Here's the thing with social media. Most of the time people want you to see the best of the best, right? Because we could all agree that most social media, it's just sharing. Then you have that small percentage of people who share just the misery because they're like, oh, I'm sick again, or I have this, please pray for me. And either way, we have to sort of check in is this their way of seeking attention? Whether it's the positive or negative element, I mean, not everybody. I think people who post some great stuff on social media or post like, I really need this, I need some support today. You can tell the people who do it genuinely because they don't do it much, they don't, and they're always quick to connect with other people and go, oh my God, that's beautiful. Congratulations, blah, blah, blah. So they're not so attention seeking, but who are we to judge also on that? We can only judge ourselves. So exactly what Alyssa was saying is it's constantly, we have to do a self check-in. And that's why depression rears its ugly head very quickly. That's why anxiety rears its ugly head very quickly. That's why stuff that seems like depression rears its head, the sadness, grief, because we weren't checking in regularly.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You gotta be living in your now. You gotta own your now. But back to the comparison, yeah. I think when you judge and compare, you're missing a very vital thing in you, and I think that's called a heartbeat. And,
Oh,
and dancing to the sound of your heartbeat, you won't have time to be comparing your life with someone else or judging what someone else has, because everybody has a different journey. I don't give a shit what somebody's doing. I celebrate everybody. Hey. Now, when you cross over to my lane to take something of mine and take it back into yours, now we're going to have some issues. But anyway, I think everybody should be celebrated accordingly and not be so much, comparing your life. Who would have thought Robin Williams was that sad? I loved him, but
actually, that happens. That actually happens a lot, Gladiator Guru, with a lot of comedians. A lot of comedians are very.
That's why they're funny. And and like with me all my life, I've always been the strong one. So whenever I say I'm not feeling good, I'm tired, people are like, oh, okay, she'll get over it. She's Margie, she's strong. And they go on their merry way. And then if I don't show up to something, oh, what happened? You didn't show up? I was tired. But what's wrong? Oh, you need to get to bed earlier. So it's never, and I love them for that. And then sometimes I just wish they would just look at me. Because it's never, oh, Margie's going through something, because Margie can't go through something, because Margie's the one there assisting and picking up and walking it with someone else, or Margie's the one that when shit happens, she just gets it done and then she sits down and takes a rest. But as far as talking back to you, I know everything now. It's all these words, watch what you say. Yeah, I think we all have a thing. But let me tell you something. When I check myself and I'm like, Margie, what the fuck are you doing? Stop it. Like, oh, you dumb bitch. Why do you do that again? And it's something like
But even that, calling yourself a dumb bitch is, it's those words do add up too.
Well, no, I think that's my wake up call for me. I think, I think you got to be of strong spirit. Like, I'm talking to myself. Why am I going to me, it's like, what the fuck are you doing, Margie?
Yeah, that I agree.
You dumb bitch. Don't do that no more. And you know what? And then guess what? I get over it. I don't need to. And I think we just got to know who we are to know what we can tolerate, or to know what's our strength level. And Karen, are we carrying a mini purse, or are we carrying a motherfucking tote bag with all our life in it? So it's up to what you're willing to put the energy into yourself. You got to put the energy into yourself and stop sitting back, not doing it, and then getting mad because people around you aren't doing it. I think that you are as strong as you allow yourself to be. So, I love all the research and I love all this stuff going on, but sometimes I sit back and I listen and I read and I don't agree with all of it. That's because that's my generation. Like, get the fuck
and a lot of research
conflicts. Sorry for yourself. Get up. Like, as soon as we got on this morning, mi gente, I told Lori, I'm working on 2.5 hours of sleep, but it's nobody's fault but myself. Because I always feel I have time. And the time leads up to where I was doing something like, in it. And I was so happy because I was done with that part of it. And I look up and I'm like, what the fuck is 3:15 in the morning? And I still have shit to do. To then take a shower at 3:40, set 5 different alarms just so I can make sure to be up and take a shower and come on.
And she was early.
And I'm okay. But the thing is, what are you willing to do for you? What are the lengths you're willing to go for you during your depression, your seasonal sadness, the funk you may be in, the misery you are keeping yourself in? What are the lengths? How far are you willing to go to take care of you? How many shovels do you need? That's what we're going to go into now.
Yeah, what are you not giving? It starts with what are you not giving yourself, and it starts with awareness. That's the first thing, is awareness, being aware of how you're feeling and why you're feeling. And sometimes you can go, oh, I don't know why I feel that way. I'm not. That's bull.
When you figure it out, then you come back and talk to me, because I'm not a riddle solver.
But it's not true. It's not true. Again, that's another lie that we tell ourselves. Like it's exactly. I don't know why.
I don't feed that. That's what I'm saying. When people do that, I don't feed it. Like, you know what? Don't give me half-assed stories. When you're ready to talk, you come to me with the whole thing, because I'm not here trying to figure out a fucking riddle. And you can ask anybody. Ask our Janice. Our Janice, if you're on confirm. Beatty, if you're on confirm. I don't do that. I'm not here. No. First of all, I'm not even charging your ass. So don't be trying to make me work overtime, trying to figure you out when you can't figure you out.
But it's true. It's if we know why. The reason we can say I don't know why I feel like this, because we are refusing to acknowledge it because we don't want to deal with it. We don't want to face it. And I basically, this is what happens when you're in a funk. You have three choices. You either stay in the funk, you stay right where you are, which is complete inaction. You sleep, you lay around, that's it.
You watch Korean flicks.
You could, what'd you say?
You watch Korean flicks.
There you go.
So I gotta focus because I'm reading the subtitles.
But that's action. Actually, there's a little bit of action there, because you're actually, if it's just nothing, then you're just sitting there. But then there's moving forward. That's where you're like, okay, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I need to fix this. I need to do something differently to change this, disrupt it. So, and that's an action. You're taking action. Moving forward is an action. Or you move backwards. And moving backwards is also an action. And and there's variations of moving backwards, and taking action. One of them could be that you're drinking, you're shopping, it's an action, but it's not solving the problem. It's going to keep you in a way where you are, but at that moment in time, it is numbing you, or increasing, or you could be eating a bunch of crap, which it boosts your happy chemicals, or do drugs, and that elevates you. So, but either way, in the end, when you wake up from it, you are still in the same place. The worst action going backwards is the absolute no return, which is ending your life. And it is real for people like that. It was almost real for me like that. And I would be lying if I've said that in the last month that has not popped up into my head. Not that I've wanted to, that I was thinking about it. I was thinking about when I was at that place in my life, what was happening, how low was I? And then I was worried that, am I getting to that level? That's what I mean by that. It wasn't that I wanted to. It was, am I heading in that direction? And for me, knowing that I've been there, it is really scary to think to go back. It's sort of like an idea of somebody who's been sober for years and then having taken a drink or a drug, and not that they jumped off and fell off the wagon, but for a moment they stop themselves and say, oh my God, I could go knee deep in it right now, or I could just stop and not do this again. And that's the reality. That's the awareness, And so being aware, that's where it starts. And you got to be honest with yourself. That's the thing. You have to be truthful to yourself. You have to really dig deep and face the bullshit that you don't want to face, and say, why am I in this funk? What's causing this? Maybe it is because of, maybe you don't know, in a sense that, well, my business is okay, or I'm making money. I have no reason to feel this way. I'm in a happy relationship. I'm paying my bills. There is this collective funk that's happening. There's a lot of negative energy that's out there right now, and we can acknowledge that because of the unknown. So maybe that's it. Maybe you could say, I kind of just don't like what's going on in the world. There you go. You just became aware of what it is. It's not specifically personal to you, but it's still affecting you, right? So you start with the awareness. Okay, what else do we have, Gladiator Guru? Awareness, truth, right?
Good morning, Anita. We wrote it differently. I wrote one, acknowledgement. You got to acknowledge that it's happening or that it happened. A lot of us,
that's awareness.
So I put it. That's why I said we worded it differently.
Okay.
So we want to swim, accept that it happened, accept that it's happening. Stop fighting it. You're swimming against the current. I mean, the waves, and guess what's gonna happen? Whew. Just accept that it's happening. You're not weak for accepting it. You're not weak for acknowledging it. Accept it and accept the truth. that you're playing a role in it. You're probably the ringleader of it. Or you're sitting back and allowing it to happen, but you're still playing into it, right? So accept that you are playing or played a role in what's happening in your life now. Feel it. Feel it, damn it. You got to feel the pain, the sorrow, the grief, the sadness, the betrayal, the lack of self, whatever. You have to allow yourself to feel it. Stop pretending it's not happening. Stop running from it. Because it keeps you longer in that funk, right? Badass? The more you try to evade the inevitable, the longer that dark tunnel is going to seem to you, that it's going to be for you. Forgive yourself first for whatever travesties you're causing yourself by not acknowledging or being aware of it, not accepting that it's partially your fault, not allowing yourself to feel it, to cry, to scream, to dance naked in your kitchen or under the moon in your backyard. We're not doing that, right? Then forgive everyone else around you who you may think or who did have a direct effect in what's going on with you. And then let it go. Release it. You got to celebrate, dance, sing out loud, call a friend, just text, hey, are you free? You want to talk? Or just call. Say I love you, even if it's to your reflection in the mirror. Look over at somebody you've been mad at and don't even know why everything they do annoys you, and every time they walk by you, they stink to you. That's your own Trust me, been there. And so, you know what? Say I love you. Say it in the mirror, and then tell people around you. Hug yourself. We talked about this when Viva was in its infancy. During the pandemic, we always talked about hugging yourself and loving yourself and looking in the mirror. And I'm sorry, we apologize that we veered away from that. We're back though. And then raise that glass. I don't care if it's a Disney World glass, right? Raise that glass. Or let me raise my mug. Hold on. Raise that glass, even if it's just you at home, right? Raise it. And raise it. Wine, water, juice, cafe in our case. Raise it. And you say, Salud, Margarita. We survived another day. Or you say, Salud, Margarita. We're going to be fucking fantabulous today. Why? Because I said so. And that's how you got to start. Start talking to yourself like that.
Something that you said, I don't know if you said it with one of the things to do, make it physical. Did you write that? Did you say that? Make it physical. Lift your arms up. This is what Gladiator Guru was saying yesterday on our call. Like literally, like lift. In fact, let's everybody do that. Everybody lift your arms up, put your head back, pull your arms back if you can. Do you know they actually did research on this? I know you just talked about you trash talk research, and I agree. It's like conflicting. Research can conflict. No, I know. I'm just saying.
Disruptors in our own head and in our own voice, right? To ourselves. But yeah, go ahead. Tell me the research.
They did. They said the research actually said that when people do this for just like, like not even a minute, half a minute, arms over their heads, arms behind, it actually increases your brain chemicals, your happy chemicals, which makes sense because what you're doing is you're opening your chest, you're opening your heart, you're allowing the breath to come in, you're stretching, and all of these things, physically speaking and physiologically speaking, will trigger stuff, they'll trigger all kinds of stuff. But just that alone, and if it's interesting, if you go on Google and you type in images, like go on Google Images and you type in woman empowered women, where empowerment, every single picture, they're always like this, they're like this, they're, and they don't sit there and show somebody like this, all like closed in, because that's what we do when we are depressed, when we are upset, we go into the stress response. It's natural. We have to hide. That's what we're trying to do. So we feel the need to like be all flexed inward. We put stuff over our heads. We keep the room dark. We want to like be hidden. We're not in the mood to do this. And maybe, just maybe, that little piece right there, if you could just force yourself to do that, that could just make you feel better in that moment to get you to the next piece. So for those of you that are feeling low today, do that like 5 times today. Hold it for like 20 seconds, head back, do it where you don't fall over, please.
Healing, just like 20-second healing hug. You can do that stretch 20 seconds. Every morning I do 25 backwards, 25 forward, and then I put a song from Piso 21. And I dance to it like this. But yeah, that's what I do, but not this morning because I was tired. Lucky I washed my ass.
Understandably so.
So yeah, but we were talking about and Badass Buddha wrote it down yesterday, and I would love for her to go through it. Talking about the shovels and the fertilizer. And I think that we all go through those steps in our lives, but we don't know how to label it or what to compare it to, what analogy to give it. So she's going to read what we came up with yesterday, because I think it just goes across. You have it, right? I didn't write it.
Yeah, I don't have. Well, hold on. I'm going to get that actual, because the wordage, that's what you came up with. So I'm going to read it because this is what was put in the description for today. It's, let's shift our focus on what to do about it. How many shovels do we need to bury the dead? And what fertilizer do we need to resurrect and heal the ground we stand on to grow abundantly? We're going to create a plan to prepare the soil, plant the seeds, and harvest the amazing lives we're meant to live. So okay, first off, I know what you're talking about. So shoveling, right? Shoveling the dead, right? That we were talking about, like getting the shovel to shovel out the dead. How many shovels do we need? Sometimes you need one. Sometimes it could be a hand shovel. Sometimes it could be a big shovel that you use your foot with. Sometimes you need a freaking front end bucket loader. That's what I said to you yesterday. Like, I'm at that level where I need the front end loader from like the quarries, those big fuckers that are like so big that the tires are as big as your car. Like, that's how I've been feeling, and to dig the hole to bury the shit in there, to bury the shit. And, it's visual, the visual of it, but it could be the physical piece too. The physical, you could literally say, okay, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to dig a hole, because the physical movement is going to change you. Dig a hole and put shit that you don't want anymore, that has bothered you, pictures, writings, write it down if you've never had it written. Maybe what it is that whatever you're feeling, and bury that fucker. Seriously. That's why people also do burnings. They'll take all their old stuff that they don't want anymore, that they have to let go, and they put it into a big fire pit. I don't care if you don't want to use a shovel and bury it, because here's my worry with burying is I don't want you to go back and unbury it, because we do that. We'll go back and unbury stuff. And I don't want you to, we don't want you to go and find, if you're going to do that, then find a spot somewhere where you will never remember it. Dig it and put that shit in there, or burn it. Right. And so decide today what it is that you need to bury. And we don't mean bury it within you, like let go, like you're going to forget it. You're burying it symbolically to say, I'm done with this. Like, I don't need this anymore. It's like, it's like having an animal that you loved and adored. They died. You're not going to let them sit in your house and say, well, I can't let them go. I love them so much. You've got to bury them, because what happens if you don't bury the animal? It will break down. It will start to stink up the house. It will rot. And that is what happens when we do not let stuff go. So burying it inside us is like leaving something that's of flesh rotting in our house and not burying it outside. So figure out what it is that you need to bury, and physically do that this weekend. Within the next 4 days, by Tuesday, we want to hear your stories of what you buried or burned.
You see what Iris wrote?
Yeah, look, see, we did that every morning when I was in my IOP program. And Iritza, say how powerful was that by doing that? How, because that was every morning you did it. So I'm assuming you kept burying some of the same things because you hadn't let them go yet. So how powerful was that to do that every single morning? How did you feel after you did that? If you don't mind sharing, what did you observe of other people? If did you all do it together or did you do it like separately? We would love to hear more about that. So there we go. So that's part one, burying, right? The next part is now, if you're going to bury that, why not? This is, you know what? This is how you're not going to dig it back up again, because you're going to plant something on top of it. Right? Wouldn't that actually, we didn't talk about this yesterday, but does that make sense? So go and pick the most beautiful flowers that you love, and then dig a hole in your yard, put that shit in the hole, throw some more dirt on top of that, put some water in, and then put that potted plant there. So that all that symbolizes is the beauty. That's placing what you buried.
Yes, remember, because like Carl, I can never say his name right. Jung.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's Jung, but I think opinions vary.
Yeah, I like Jung. I'm gonna stick to that because that's what I like. He has a quote, one of my favorites, where it says, "It is said that a tree cannot reach to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell." So when you bury what's no longer good, then there's always something beautiful that grows up. So I think that is perfect. Perfect. It's more than an analogy, badass. I think that, the plants are cheap now. Go get a little, even if you get like those annuals, but get one that's already in the pot, and go this weekend and write everything you want to get rid of on a piece of paper. Wrap it up in aluminum foil. Don't do plastic, please, because we're trying to help. I mean, whatever you
wrap it in newspaper. Wrap it in paper. Yeah. That'll break down.
Bury it. Spit on it if you have to. Bury it. Plant the flower and walk away. And let's try that. Let's all try that. And then take pictures. Because I think that would be very, very good. The other day when I slept till like 12:30 in the afternoon on Saturday, and then I felt like shit and I had to seize myself. Whoop! Stop. My body must have needed it because it wasn't aching at all. And then, but then I weeded, I raked, I mowed, and I mulched. And what the badass Buddha was saying earlier about that, the earth becoming one with nature, helped me out a lot. It helped me realize that I'm better than what I'm going through, right? So permit me this, because I didn't finish with the celebrating, right? So grieving for a loss, and we talked about this. I'm grieving for losses, right? And then yesterday I was reminded by the badass Buddha that what am I grieving right now? And I'm grieving my identity as a caregiver. So I was feeling like a fish out of water. Like, what's my purpose now? Because for 10 years, that's all I was, pouring into another's life so that they can then, make the transition in peace. And then I'm okay. I thought I was okay with it. And this time I think it's because both my assignments are done with. Now I feel like, which way is up? So grieving for a loss that we are unaware of, but yet we grieve. So we cannot know what it is we're grieving for. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Maybe I'm tired. So one, what we lost. Two is, when did it all begin? So I said it. Badass Buddha was saying it. Look at Iris said, I hated it, but at the end I looked forward to it, and we would do it as a group, like 14 people. Yeah, because it was discomforting.
Oh yeah. Anything uncomfortable, we hate.
Yeah. So that's what you gotta, and on that paper, write it. What did you lose? What's your grief? What was your loss? And when did it begin? So pinpoint the when or the what on that one. And surrender. Why do we feel we're weak and vulnerable if we surrender?
Yeah.
Obviously, you're in a rut because you don't know everything you're supposed to know about your ass. So surrender and admit, okay, I don't know where I'm going. Which way's up? Which way's down? Do I take a left? Do I take the blinders off? Am I supposed to look past my nose? Am I supposed to think outside the box? Don't inundate yourself with all these questions. Just surrender. I am very spiritual. I believe in God. I believe Jesus the Christ. Woo, we have conversation all day. He's probably like this all the time with me. But guess what? I'll say, Father God, I don't know. I have all these plans. I know I'd be having you cracking up today. I said, but I'm still not. I'm not like, this is it. I said, so I surrender. Lead the way, I will follow. And that's what gets me through my days. That's what gets me through my nights. I'm like, Father God, please help me because maron. I don't know. I don't know where I'm at. Look at where I'm at. You know where I'm at. And that's how I get through my days. I have conversations with my God. I ask him to make sure that my guardians are aware, that my ancestors, for him to allow my ancestors to come in and guide me. Let me smell them. Let me feel them. Because, I that's where I need to know. Am I on the right track? So surrender and celebrate every step. You might feel awful. You might feel like shit, like the badass Buddha was saying earlier. The thoughts, the thoughts just danced across her thoughts, mi gente. She, her appreciation for life and going forward and plans are magnificent. And I love that she showed her vulnerability by saying that those thoughts did dance across her mind, but she wasn't there like she was back in the day. That was beautiful, by the way, Lord. So celebrate every step. You might feel awful. You might feel like shit. Remember, pick up that glass of water, juice, wine, and celebrate in the pain. Celebrate as you walk through the fire, through your fire, because everybody's fire is at different temperatures. So you can't say, oh, I walked through the fire, go ahead, it's easy. No, bitch, because maybe my issues are bigger than yours. Maybe my healing is going to be a wee bit more painful than yours. So remember, just stay in your lane. And if you can't give yourself advice, please don't give advice to anybody else. Sit and have a tribal conversation. This is where I'm at. Where are you? Get to know where each other's path is. And maybe you can share then. You go, oh, okay, I remember this is what I did. Then you have pointers, because that's how we heal. I think that's, other than what's grief. Grief is the response to a loss associated with death, someone dying, someone that you love. But it's also physical, cognitive, behavioral, social, cultural, spiritual, philosophical dimensions. It's all of that. So grief is just, when people are like, oh, I've been through all the stages of grief. Bitch, I'm still stuck on grief. Just that word. Every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, Maron, what are we going to go through?
I like that. I'm just still stuck on grief.
Yeah, the first and second. I'm glad you have a great memory to remember all the stages. I walk them all at the same time, and that's why I'm thrown back in the loop. But as you talk, I'm going to call in on my phone. We don't celebrate ours. We don't, Alyssa.
Yeah,
You
this is correct. Yep.
When you used to come over for coffee, I always spoke about celebrating yourself. My kids were always humiliated because I was always on the floor. Me and the floor were best friends. I would watch,
and not because he was drunk.
No, and I'm on the floor, and I would quack, 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 and I would get up, brush myself off, cry, and my son's like, why, you never look where you're going, and I know it was out of concern, and Tiffany's like, there's my mom falling again, but celebrate it. Why? Because I'm healthy enough to get up and laugh about it and get a little bruise, and I keep on going, and, I think I fell not too long ago. Yeah, I fell when I was in Texas. Totally fell. That was painful, maybe because I'm over 50 now, so that was a bit painful. But anyway, celebrate. Absolutely, we got to celebrate, even when we haven't showered in 2 days because we just was too tired and had no energy to do so. Even if we sat and ate a tub of ice cream and 3 bags of potato chip, celebrate that you still had that hand to mouth movement. Celebrate that you got up and washed your ass when you took a piss, even though you haven't taken a shower. Celebrate those little things. But see, sometimes we just don't have the energy.
Listen, washing your ass is a very good reason to celebrate. Truly.
Yeah.
It's also not just good for you, but it's also good for everyone around you. So thank you for washing your ass today.
Yeah. So, but it's like everything is a celebration, you know, being able to walk to your front door, open it and get your mail is a celebration that you actually did something. So never be afraid to celebrate. I just can't say that enough. I'm looking for my calendar. Hold on a minute. So mi gente, anything else, Badass Buddha? You want to say?
Well, I'm just going to say a couple things to close up because we have one other thing that we want to do today before we hang up with everybody, right? We want to show off some stuff, but
that's why I'm calling you. I'm calling in on my phone because
okay. So own your truth. Even if it's not what you want to know or hear. Like, even if you're like, I'm not happy with my life, I'm broke, I'm this, I'm that, you got to own it. You have to start somewhere, and it sucks. I'm not going to say that it doesn't. It does. But make sure that the voice in your head is accurate, because sometimes what we think is the truth is actually our own perception, because we just want to make ourselves feel like shit. It could be lies. And a really great way to determine this is by asking those closest to you, your biggest fans, the ones that believe in you, not people that are close to you that you think believe in you. You have to know down in your core that they are not going to judge you, that they love you unconditionally. These are the people that you can be vulnerable with without them turning around going, well, I told you not to do that. Fuck you. That's not somebody that loves you. This is somebody that's going to listen, and they're going to be honest with you. And they're not going to give you advice of should have, could have, would have. They're just going to hear it. And it's the people usually that'll say, I'm so glad that you said that. Thank you for telling me this and sharing that with me. And you ask them to give you some insight, to make sure that the voices are correct, and say, I want you to be truthful with me because this is how I feel, but this is what I'm thinking about myself. And get those supporters out there too, to back you up, to check in on you, that say, I love you. And you may not be able to want to respond to them right away, but tell them to not give up on you and keep checking in until you are ready to do it. And then you want to be able to do it and they not be judging. Well, I called you 2-3 times and you didn't. Bye-bye. They need to go. Because that's what's going to help you flip the bitch. Truly. That's what's going to help you flip that conversation in your head. And once you start getting out of the funk, these are the things that you can do. You can pray, you can meditate, any of these and all of these. You can do whatever works for you, whatever feels the best. You can pray, you can meditate, you can dance, you can sing, you can watch a movie, give yourself space, give yourself space. I wrote it twice, so it must have been that important. Go to sleep, clean, organize, purge, exercise, move, focus your mind and body away from the known stressors or issues, and put a timeline on that grief. Say, okay, I feel like shit today. I'm just going to honor it and I'm just going to let it happen. And then I'm not going to let it, I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm not going to do it.
I love that. Everything you said is true. Why am I up?
Yeah, just hit one of them off. There we go.
Everything you said is true, and we got to remind ourselves and remember what everything she said is fact, and we got to follow it. But when we talk about show up for yourself, like be honest, no te engañes. Stop lying to yourself already. It's like when you get up and you have to go to somebody else's job and make someone else richer and make sure that your boss is happy. That's a lot of energy you're putting out instead of putting in. So remember that life that we had pre-pandemic. And remember how you would get up and you only took a piss on your break and you only ate when it was your assigned lunch. And this is your life. So you're going to have to cultivate it according to you. So show up for you every day, even in your worst thing. Take a shower, put your pajamas back on. I don't care what you do, but show up, be present. Because by being present in your life is how you can be present in your life. So we're going to go and show you something. I just signed down because we got to go to the other phone, but we're going to start with this one. So for my glitter buffs, here, okay, where am I? Here is, this is my shirt. So I did just the silver glitter. Viva Cafe con Leche with Margarita and Lori. Lori's going to talk about the special we have running. And then we're going to go into the next room.
And so with what Gladiator Guru was talking about, hold on a moment. Let's turn that one off. There we go. What Gladiator Guru was talking about is, do what you can with your abilities right now. Push yourself beyond what you think is possible. And if you still feel like you need help, then look for a therapist, look for a coach. Therapists their job is to talk about the past. Coach's job is to talk about the future. And we're going to redefine, like help you set a standard or goals or whatever, So that's so consider that if you're feeling stuck and you feel like you can't do it on your own, or go with a group. Get a group. Go get therapy with a group.
Okay. Where am I?
Oh my God, Janine sent a text to both of us, and it's a picture of a dead plant, and the sign next to it says, "I'm not dead. This is just how I look." Where'd you go, Gladiator Guru? You're back on your laptop. The other one went off. We'll get it together. Don't worry. We'll get it together. Yeah, we don't. You're in the way distance. Okay, there we go. We're not hearing you at all. There we go. Hold on a second. Okay. Yes.
Okay. So, mi gente, I have to flip my phone because I got cut off because I don't know how to do that. But here, do you see it, Laura?
Go down.
So this is the different color glitter.
Go down with the phone. Can't see it. There, down a little bit more. There we go.
So here is the glitter is going to come in all different colors. White background for now. So this is that one. This is the original that I love.
Down, down, down is cut off. There you go.
Is the Viva Cafe Asani, right?
Yep.
Here are the mugs. Now the mugs.
Go to your right. There we go. Too far. There we go. Down.
Right there?
Yep. Perfect. That's perfect.
Mi gente, stay with us. So these are like for right-handed people. You can have the picture of us or the logo, right? But on the other side of each mug, you have the logo and the picture. So one side is the picture, one side is the logo for either your left or righty, right? So what's the special for today, Lauren?
So we're doing a special today. So if you would like to get, it comes with a t-shirt, it comes with the cup, and it comes with the lip balm, right? Was it the lip balm?
If you order today, you get a $9 organic lip balm with biodegradable, so you're not harming the earth.
Made by $9.
These are my magically orgasmic lip balms, and they're a big size where only real women can handle this size.
Got to use both hands sometimes.
Yeah, that's the logo. So you would get I'm still waiting. I'm waiting to print out the round logos of Viva to put on here. But if you order today, the t-shirt and the mug, right? You get 2 prizes, and that's it. And then after that, the lip balms are $9 separately. The mug, you get a free frother, so you can froth your milk before pouring your coffee, and then a t-shirt. Everybody sees it? You see it? Laura?
Yes. Okay. Sorry, I'm putting in your info to get it. So if you want to order it, you can go on to Cash App or Venmo. And the price is, did we say the price? I didn't think we said, right?
The whole set, you wrote it down, no?
It's $29.99 for the whole thing.
Today, because it's
right.
What something % off for whoever.
Yeah, it's like 15% off, plus you get the free gift of the frother. And I'm putting Margarita's information in, and I'm going to put it also onto, I should have done this earlier, didn't think about it, as a banner, but it's going into the comments. You should be able to get right onto it. All right. And you have to, and so listen, when you go to purchase these things, okay, special price, $29.99 for the t-shirt, mug, lip balm, and frother, through between now and Sunday, right? Or no? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. You're muted. Sorry. Until what?
No, I said the color mugs will be also for sale. But right now we just have the white ones, but you can also order those girls though. What girl? You gotta see them dressed in pearls. So yeah, so here we have different colors. I have the green. What's your color?
Mine is red.
Look at the red. The red is so vibrant.
Yes.
And they didn't arrive yet, but we're also gonna have these mugs will go for $12.99 after Sunday a piece. The other mugs that will be like a special, those will be a little more expensive, and we'll show those when they come. They haven't arrived yet, and then I still got to do all this to it. But yeah, the color mugs will be back. If you want to wait, specify a color: blue, red, green, yellow, pink, black. Those are the colors. The sizes. Hello, Arlene, my beautiful, beautiful friend. That's another thing. These shirts will be made on demand because everybody comes in different sizes. So I'm not going to create these shirts and have 5 large sitting there for 2 months, so it gets the crease and it gets whatever. So I'd rather do on demand. So when you order your shirt, just know it'll probably be a week before it gets mailed out. The mugs I'm gonna try, because they are one size fits all, right? I'm gonna, as soon as I get the mugs in, I'm heat pressing them. So those will always be available. The lip balms, I make them constantly. Yesterday, I made those. But the shirts, I want to make them accordingly, because see, this shirt, if you notice, is a shirt I bought at Ross. And so last night, this was my first tester. So to me, it didn't come out right. See how you have some, because remembering this, but I think it looks beautiful, right? Or is it just
yeah? No, I love it. I love the bling, and I like the pink one too, the sparkly pink one.
Yes, and the pink shirt I showed you is V-neck. So this one, I wanted Viva to be up high, but on sometimes, I'll make it like from the breast down. But yes, I like it high.
So listen, when you order, you have to, the Venmo and Cash App, I believe, I know Venmo does it. I'm not as good with Cash App, but you have, there's a memo that you can put in there and put your t-shirt size and put your address so that we know where to send them to. That's the other piece there. So, yeah, if you're interested, just go ahead and reach out. You can also message us on Facebook too, if you have any questions on anything. But yeah, she's gonna create them as the order comes in. So it'll take a little time to create the shirt, and then everything will get packaged up and sent out at the same time. So it could take about a week to get your stuff. So and I don't think we have a color specific for the shirt, right?
No, right now it's going to be white background.
And V-neck, right? White and V-neck.
Well, no, they can be round, round or V-neck. You let me know.
Okay, perfect.
Cotton, maybe cotton polyester. I'm looking into the cotton / spandex, because I also like that fitted thing. So, I mean, once the shirts get in, I'm trying to get the best price, mi gente, so that it can be sold at the best price. Because it's a lot of labor that goes into this. It's not just buying a shirt. It's a lot of freaking labor. You got to weed it. Maron, I forgot. I'd rather do the sublimation. But the glitter looks so beautiful. But it's a process. So we can like you, she's like, for us broke bitches on Social Security. So yeah, so you know, the badass Buddha wants us to have beautiful products for Viva. It took us a long time to get here, and we thank you for being patient. We thank you for understanding that although we get up here every Tuesday and Thursday, and we're happy because Viva was a lifeline to me when it started. So they're here now, and things are only going to get better. We have a lot of visions of what we're going to have. So the lip balms that have the Viva logo on it, the mugs, we're going to have the badass Buddha's closing phrase and my closing phrase. We're going to have Viva Cafe con Leche pops up like slut magic. I mean, there's going to be an array of different mugs that you can order. And
magically orgasmic, unapologetically courageous, spiritually grounded, going beyond authentic. All the things that we like to say on the show, those are going to be a selection of mugs. So yeah, so great.
So just stay tuned. And, you know, as a tribe, remember, we're here for one another. And thank you for this conversation. The Badass Buddha and I started this conversation because of where we were. And then we decided to share it with you because for everyone, just like she said, how we think movie stars cannot be depressed or cannot be going through something because they're rich, because they live in big houses and all that. Well, we didn't, you know, we need to show that we are also vulnerable, even though we're a badass Buddha and the gladiator guru. Vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of saying, I'm here. And the other saying, I got you. Even if you just sit with me in silence, you got me. Hello, my sister Connie. So yes, with that.
All right, we're all set. And thanks for everybody for coming on, and have an absolutely beautiful weekend. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
Remember, mi gente, for those interested in the merchandise, send a note, because I see my cousin says she's interested in the t-shirt. Send a note via any social media or call me. Mi gente, remember, breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Namaste, everyone. Bye.